Hello, beautiful people. We are back. We are back to back. As a matter of fact, I'm a poet and I don't even know it. Super lame joke to start things off, but let's go right into it. So yesterday we had Jazzy and Tyler from Tin and Tallow, which was a lot of fun. Very proud and grateful to call them friends of mine, and we had a great conversation about the way things have gone. Go check it out, obviously on YouTube and Facebook. We're live here, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and I'm super pumped about this one. That's kind of been in the works for, I guess, almost like 2 months now. And so we're going to get a little bit of a different glimpse into the things that go on in this food and beverage industry locally, but just even generally, a completely different chapter in the cycle of a new restaurant business. So as I say endlessly, and I promise I'll come up with something more creative, without any further ado, I present to you Sami and Dani Mussman of Sister Sister Deli. Hi there.
Hi.
Thank you guys so much for taking the time. What is that funky wallpaper that you got behind you? That looks pretty cool.
These are our beautiful cheese ladies. This is our office, so this will
cheese ladies
most of our time.
Okay, so perfect segue. You literally stepped right into it. Cheese ladies. So yesterday, when I spoke with Jazzy and Tyler Bowdish of Tin and Tallow, which is our smash burger sensation over here in Hilton Head. I'm in Bluffton, but right over the bridge into Hilton Head. I'm kind of in the center of this amazing universe of food where I can go to the island, I can go to Savannah, and occasionally I do get out to Beaufort, and I'm going to talk about more specifically about that in a moment. But when I was walking the dog yesterday, and she's got to wait until after today's podcast to get her walk in. But when I was walking the dog yesterday and I was thinking about the conversation that I was going to have with them, I was like, this is going to be the easiest podcast I've ever done, because I've gotten to know them really well. I was kind of in it with them since the truck, I was within the first 2 weeks of the truck opening, and then getting to see it all the way through, going over to brick and mortar. Now, when it comes to you guys, so I don't know, and literally right before we jumped on here, and I appreciate you being patient with my technological ineptitude, but once we got up and running here, this is the first time that I have met you ladies, right? Mm-hmm. So I was thinking about that, and I was like, and this is going to be awesome because I'm going to get to learn about it just as the audience learns about it, but there's a very sort of serendipitous connection here, and it didn't kind of occur to me until about a half hour ago. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, and we've been kind of following each other, and we were connected probably, I would say, towards the end of August from Selma at New Leaf Produce was the one that kind of like made the suggestion and mentioned you to me. And then it came up again when I spoke to the sushi dude, Justin Patton, and we'll touch on that in a moment as well. But when I came upon this, I was like, okay, well, this is going to be a really exciting conversation to have, but there is a really sort of, like I said, serendipitous kismet sort of connection here, which I think is really kind of fascinating, at least to me. So you see, I'm wearing my Allagash hat here, right? I'm married to, my wife's name is Jocelyn Kern, and her family is sort of centrally located up in the area of Portland, Maine. So she actually just got back from there this past week. She went to spend almost a week with them, and I would have loved to join her. It's my kind of annual escape up there as the leaves start to change, and she's packing her warmer clothes to go up there just a week or so. And it started to get pretty chilly this past week, but that's kind of almost like my vacation for the year. Well, this year I couldn't make it because I was kind of starting with a new opportunity in the mortgage industry, and we have a rescue dog who's older, and we have a kitten that we've had he's about a year old, but we've had him since like January. He is like a tornado, and so there's we're not at the stage where we can just leave him and have someone come and feed him and so on and so forth. So I had to hang back. as much as I love going to Portland, Maine, to that area for the amazing food and all the other kind of stuff, then we spend time outdoors and, the Audubon and the botanical gardens and Cape Elizabeth, all these great places to go. My absolute favorite thing to do when I go there is there's usually one day during that week where my wife would take a quite a long ride of several hours to go visit her grandmother with her mom. Now this year they all went because they were celebrating her grandmother's birthday early. I think she turned 100 years old. So they all drove a few hours to go visit her. But traditionally these last few years, my day I kind of hang back, and usually I'm working and things like that too. But I get to hang out at Nibblesford, which is the cheese shop and specialty food shop that my brothers-in-law own together. They went into business together a couple of years ago, and they opened Nibblesford, and they sell
Love the name.
cheeses and wines. Yes, it's because it's in Biddeford, Maine, which is also where my mother-in-law lives. So one of the brothers is in South Portland. That's kind of where this all started. And then the other brother is in Saco, and that's right down the street from Biddeford, which is where the cheese shop is. So when I'm looking at the things that you guys have planned, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, that was literally probably one of my most favorite days of the year. I'm kind of hanging back. There's not really like a separate office, but I'm kind of like where you guys are. I'm hanging back. I'm at the desk. Maybe I have my laptop open if there's something mortgage wise that I need to deal with. But I'm not only like sampling the food that they're serving and the cheeses that they're coming back and here's try this and try that, but I'm also kind of like, you take one of those like stencils, and I'm like, it's not a very big town, Biddeford. So I'm kind of like, for that day, I'm kind of like circling around the neighborhood, and I'm having like various bites at different places, but it's all centrally focused on the cheese shop, which has been kind of like a dream of theirs. So I think that this is going to be a really fun conversation because, number one, you tell me deli, new deli, anything about sandwiches, I am 1000% in. I don't know if you guys have listened to the show before, but I say it all the time. Warren Zevon's famous quote was, when he went on the Letterman show, he had terminal cancer. It was like, what would you like to leave the audience with? He said, enjoy every sandwich. And that's like literally like, that's the credo that I live by. So enough of me blabbering on, but that's kind of was my idea about how we're going to go into this. So I got wind of this a couple of months ago. For approximately how long has this been in the works, and how did you guys come upon this idea? Just kind of take us through the short strokes of the journey that's taken you to on the verge of an opening.
Well, I mean, I think we've both been interested in cooking since we were really young. We both went to culinary school in our early 20s. And I think we both kind of like knew that we'd always open up a restaurant together. Like that was the goal. When that would happen, it was kind of
earlier than expected, I think.
Earlier than expected, later than expected, kind of,
kind of.
It's like we had lived separately for so many years. I was living in Portland, Oregon. Dani was living in Olympia, Washington. She moved up here maybe almost 4 years ago
Close to 4.
And then I moved up here about 3 years ago, and so finally together. And
I love how you say up here. You're coming for the furthest reaches of the country, and it's kind of wild that you say Portland, Oregon, because a lot of times when I say my in-laws are from Portland, that's what people think I'm talking about. Right. I've never been to either, but you literally are like you were literally both up in the Pacific Northwest, and then here you are back down in the Low Country. I'm sorry, go ahead. I just had to interject.
Yeah, we both made our cross-country trips over here because our dad and mom live here. They've been here for 10 years. So we just want to be closer to family. I have a 2-year-old, so having, grandparents in his life is super important to me, and love working for other people and living out their vision and everything like that. And, Dani helping out with locals and Hunter and everyone like that was amazing for her, and they're great people to work for. But at some point, you're just like, I want to do what I want to do.
Yep.
And so it was just kind of like figuring that out, figuring out how do we kind of combine all of our interests, because we both have super broad, various
niche specialties
as far as like cuisines are concerned. So it's like, how do we kind of bring all that together and combine all of our interests? We both kind of have a background in charcuterie to an extent. I mean, when we were young kids, there was this really cool Italian deli that we used to go to called Cugini's. And it was like, you know, taking 2 10-year-olds to a candy shop, but it was just full of cheese and we were just as excited.
Yeah, cheese and cured meat.
So,
that's all we wanted
you guys are speaking my language more so than anyone I think I've spoken to. And I love all food, but you guys are like right in my wheelhouse here. Please continue.
You know, for
Talk
us,
about all the salted cured meats that you'd like to.
Yeah, you go in there and you're like, oh, I want to try this. I want to try this. And so that's something that we've always just loved, and was kind of a little personal to us because we do that for, you know, holidays. We'd go and get cheese and meats and things like that, or just like
special occasion.
Mm-hmm. And then we both ended up going to Sweden. We did a workaway program at this farm to table kind of situation in Sweden, where we raised heritage breed pigs, took care of them, learned how to butcher them, and then this guy actually made his own charcuterie. It's called Franzen Charcuterie in Sweden.
There's about 60 pigs at any one time, and we would break 2 down a month. Mm-hmm. And just getting that whole from feeding them and cleaning up after them to then processing them, they took into an abattoir, which is like the slaughterhouse, and we got to also go through that facility, and it's very clean and humane. And then it would get brought back a few days later, and we would break down and then grind some into sausage, cure whole muscles, and just do that whole level of from the feeding to the entire processing.
Yeah, so I think it's like something about kind of like the romanticism of like involving like, you know, super farm to table, mm-hmm. taking care of the animals super humanely. And then, you know, these people that do this charcuterie are just like very specific, very clean, very meticulous, and you have to be. And so I think that kind of like food science is also something that I've always been interested in, mm-hmm. because it is so particular and meticulous, but it kind of also at the same time includes that kind of romanticism that is super important to me in cooking. So then with this deli concept, it's kind of like, okay, well, how do we combine all of these interests? Because we have a lot going on, you know, like we love fermenting, we love pickling, we love curing, smoking,
love to eat cheese,
love to so I was like, how do we combine all this? Well, there's a lot going on, but I feel like for our concept, you know, we're kind of deli focused, so we'll have the cut to order cheese and charcuterie counter. And that's kind of, well, what does that translate into? Well, sandwiches, obviously. Everyone likes a sandwich. And so, but being able to be super playful with that menu, while it may be just sandwiches, you know, we have a riff off of like a fried bologna sandwich where we're doing pistachio mortadella, frying that, house-made potato chips on top of that.
Your eyes.
What else?
Fried mortadella. Okay, slow down.
So the Southern Mort, that's the sandwich's name. It is crispy, thin sliced mortadella in a pile with pimento cheese, in-house potato chips, aioli, and some pickles, and that's all it needs.
So it's like, you know,
auspicious bread as well. We're using auspicious bread.
Nice.
But it's like, so it's like, you know, you can do whatever you want with sandwiches. You can be playful, you can be fun, and then it's all of the things we love. We can pickle, you know, we can pickle things, put it on a sandwich. You know, do our charcuterie, because we will be doing some in house, and we hope to expand that eventually, because that's kind of where our passion lies. And put that on a sandwich. And everything that goes along with it too.
Absolutely. And I know for me, a big reasoning for opening a restaurant is focusing on the local community and its farmers and sustainable practicing as well. As much as possible, we are using local produce. And I mean, you met Selma with New Leaf. I've known her since Raw Bar, and we will use all of her greens for every and all sandwiches in house.
Her place,
along with low country mushrooms, and using a lot of local farms for all of our produce. So.
And it's wild. Like,
I love her.
When you get a quality ingredient like that, especially with, you know, Selma's greens, with low country shrooms, and with just like anything, when you have a quality ingredient, it speaks for itself. Like, you don't have to do much manipulation to get something to taste amazing. You go to the grocery store and you pick up some arugula and it's fine, but then you taste Selma's arugula and you're like,
This isn't the same. This is not the
The
same.
complexity of flavor, it's so much spicier and so much more fresh. It's a world of difference.
It really is. I've seen it and smelled it for myself. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I was just joking around with my neighbor because he asked a question, and I just had to throw this in. He asked it because he literally just said it, and now we're talking about arugula. It's just too much for me. So he asked a question in one of the ask and answer things. He said, "Has anybody found spumoni around here?" And he butchered the spelling of spumoni. So I commented, just because I have to bust his chops because he's my friend, right? I said, "Are you trying to say spumoni? Well, don't say it because it hurts my ears when you say it," which is a reference from My Blue Heaven, which is back in the when I was a kid in like the 80s, mid to late 80s probably. That and Three Amigos were like my two favorite movies. I guess I just had a thing for Steve Martin. But one of the funniest parts of My Blue Heaven is when he's walking around the grocery store and he's in the witness protection program. So he's in the middle of Anytown, USA, and he's the biggest Guido that you could ever find with his hair slicked and his suit and everything, shiny suit and everything like that. And he asked the person at the grocery store where he can find the arugula, and the person has no idea what he said. Say, "What's arugula?" He says, "It's a vegetable," and just like it just in a very, like I said, Steve Martin sort of manner. He said, "I haven't had but he says, I haven't had arugula in 6 weeks," and I just always think about I haven't had and it's interestingly enough. Speaking of haven't had, so I love a lot of the food that's around here. It really kind of bothers me when people complain about it and say it's not like this or it's not like that. There's a lot of incredible food here.
Absolutely.
In all different categories. When it comes to sandwiches, there's all different kinds of sandwiches. You guys spoke about, going to the Italian, and I love the fact, by the way, that you use the adjective you said romanticism, but the fact that you use the word romanticism, or that food and the whole process of it could be romantic, that speaks to me on a very personal level, because I share those same experiences of going into said Italian deli. We're big in northern New Jersey, and I've been here for almost 5 years, but and I go back once a year or so, but that's what I miss most is that Italian deli, right? That in North Jersey, we have these A&S pork store, if you want to call it Salu Maria, if you want to call it, whatever, even if you just call it like Italian deli. Like I had one right down the street from the off. Well, obviously I had my one in town, Angelina's, which I talk about ad nauseum, and I still see their specials on my Facebook feed every day. And I'm like, making notes about what I'm going to get. And of course I go back there this August for a week, and they're closed for vacation. So terrible luck for me, but I share a lot of those same experiences. And going in there, it's not just a matter of going in and ordering a sandwich or ordering something to eat. It's like, okay, I want one of these, but the whole time I'm browsing and I'm looking around. And number one, I am an impulse buyer, in case you couldn't tell from the toys that are surrounding me. I'm like basically 46 going on 12 years old. So it's very easy for me to buy things, even if it's just I'm stopping at whatever Planet Fun in Savannah. When my wife goes to the bookstore, she goes to E-Shavers, I go to Planet Fun and I browse for action figures like a child. But I'm also an impulse buyer when it comes to food. So I'm ordering A, B, C, and D, but then I'm looking like, oh, I'm going to need a container of that. And oh, I'm going to need some of this. And I'm going to need some of this cheese. And I'm going to need some of this bread. And then the next thing you know, we're at like $100. And that's what we're gonna tease part two, because I know you guys don't have limited time today, because you're coming up on an opening, and I want to get into that as well. But that's what you can fully expect, especially from my first experience. When I can come and try the food, it's going to be this problem where I'm going to want to order the entire thing, and I'm going to and if my wife's with me, then there's more of a governor than there normally would be. But outside of that, it's going to be very difficult for me to exercise self-control, just like it is when I go.
That's a good problem for us to have. So
yes,
you're invited.
Home as well, so
what's that?
You can take a lot of things home as well, so you'll be good.
Well, that's the problem. That's what I spoke about when I talked to Justin. Like I'm not, and that's the thing. So I don't go over to Beaufort that often, but I go like a couple of times a month. And when I go, I'm going for the food. You mentioned Hunter. I'm going to Locals. I'm going almost an hour to go to Bedo's.
Yeah,
I'm going
absolutely.
to, Cece's. I'm not going to get there today for her pulled pork tacos, but that's another one. I'm going there for Black Sheep and whatever crazy sandwich or concoction Matt's coming up with, and Krista, is throwing all this stuff. It's like eye candy for me. The whole people talk about the whatever that word is that they use, the whatever hit that you get from looking at like social media, that to me, yes, exactly. For me, whatever, it's not dopamine, it's I'm hungry and I need to go eat all of this, but I only have so much time in
with you. You'll be good.
Right, exactly. So that's what I usually end up coming home, and then I'm backed up for meals for days, and I couldn't be any happier. So let's get into, because we only have a limited amount of time. You mentioned the sandwich, and of course I lost my train of thought. But when I was talking about what you're going to get certain places and having that experience, a lot of times I have Bourdain stuff and things like that show up on my feed. If you go into the For You or whatever on Instagram, a lot of times it'll just be big sandwiches in my face, and that's one of the ones that you see that I see, but people that live around here don't see a mortadella sandwich, specifically a fried mortadella sandwich. And so that's a lock. I can guarantee that that's something that I'm going to be getting when I go in there. But let's talk about
delicious.
What's that?
As well as you should. It's delicious.
I can, and I'll be honest, I wasn't the biggest mortadella fan, like up until these last like couple of years. You talk about breaking down, and I wanted to kind of go back to that too. This is why I'm like literally a kid in a candy store. You talk about breaking down the pig, right? So one year we were up in New Hampshire. This is before the family kind of congregated around Portland, but we were up in New Hampshire, and Travis, who's worked at a number of different restaurants, we don't need to go into that right now, but I've seen, okay, there's this, and this is what we're gonna do with that. And he showed up one year at Christmas with like some pretty exotic stuff, like some head cheese and things like that. Some of it I can do, some of it it's a texture thing, whatever, but I'm down for pretty much most anything. But the mortadella is not something that you're going to find around here, and it's something that I have definitely acquired a taste for, predominantly when there's other stuff that's involved in it that it can kind of like play off of. But just so that we can make me even hungrier as we head towards the lunch hour here on a Friday, what are some of the other things that, because I don't think you've posted a menu yet, correct?
Nope.
Okay. Which I love, by the way. I love that. We call that in the world of pro wrestling, we call it keeping it kayfabe. You got to keep that stuff close to the vest until it's time to give the people what they want. So tell us a little bit about what we can expect. What you want to talk about, what you're comfortable with, excuse me, at this stage as we wait till there's
we definitely have our menu flushed out. Ready to post at this point.
Right.
We'll be doing some fun charcuterie and sausage making in house. We're going to be doing deep fried boudin balls with like a pepper chutney on top. We'll be doing a red eye roast beef that is a sandwich along with sliced to order in the deli, along with burnt lemon and sweet tea turkey breasts that we'll brine in house and also slice to order on pretty much a Selma salad at that point. Let's be real. Any other highlights that you want to talk about?
We'll be doing our own capicola, and so that sandwich will be capicola, stracciatella cheese, house pickled peppers. That's one of my favorite sandwiches.
With provolone.
Gabagool, for those of you who aren't familiar.
That's right.
Gabagool. All this over a slice of gabagool, as Tony Soprano once famously said. Tell me more.
Duck confit, and we'll do duck confit and rillette.
So we'll have a duck confit grilled cheese. We'll have a duck confit salad. We'll have a duck rillette and chicken liver pate appetizer. We will also be focusing, on local shrimp as well. So we'll do pickled shrimp appetizer as well as an Old Bay shrimp melt. So shrimp salad with dill Havarti cheese melted over top. That's also one of my favorites. And stay tuned for more of our menu because we'll be posting it in the next couple of days.
Absolutely.
I heard pickled shrimp. I am locked in on that. I mean, I haven't heard anything. This is why I'm in trouble. I have not yet heard anything that I am not in for. like that's not a lock for me to order. We had we had your post from the other day with your A from the Department of Agriculture. Who's this smiling so brightly in front of the store?
Oh, that's
the inspector.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
She says she poses for those a lot. So
Okay.
I think it's
That's
all
good.
right.
That's good. That's what we like to see.
Yeah.
And then we got some
Our mom.
oh, nice. We got
She's
mom
been
in
helping
the
a lot with our exterior plans
And
and
the decoration inside is 100% Kathy.
Okay. Okay. So, and we're going to let you guys go in a few, but let's just talk about as far as we have the, I want to go right into because this gave you everything that you needed. And I know I kind of stole it for the teaser for this today, but you are doing a ribbon cutting.
Yes.
And that is going to be on November 13th at 11 a.m. That's your ribbon cutting ceremony. You are going to be in a limited soft opening from that specific day, the 13th, until the 15th.
Yeah, so that week, that's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, will be open 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then the week after that, we'll go into our full-time hours, which will be 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. So we'll be closed on Sunday and Monday.
Till 8 p.m.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Wow.
during the daytime will be more sandwich focused, appetizer focused, but evenings we'll do kind of more small plates, charcuterie boards, wine,
bottles, bites, and boards.
Okay, bottles, bites, and boards. I'm down with that. Yeah, I mean, usually, just in the course of my travels with what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, I typically find myself out there towards lunchtime. It's not to say that I haven't gone to dinner over in that area. And usually, like I said, when I am out there, I'll try to at least hit, one or two of the spots that I like to go to. But obviously, I mean, deli's right up my alley, as I said, to open things up. But the idea of having that where it's not like that full dinner time, but being that you can get there, from 11 a.m. pre-lunch, lunch rush, all throughout the afternoon. And then, like you said, this is not just a deli, this is a market. So we're going to pick up our sandwich and our salads, or we're going to sit and have something to eat, right? Because you're going to have some seating there.
Yep.
And then what we can also do is, which is what my move is all the time, is, okay, I'm going to grab this and I'm going to grab one of these, and this is what we're going to have for dinner later. So there's going to be a market element to this as well. And that's where you can see in the photo that I had up here before, this is kind of how things are starting to shape up. Obviously, you can see you have the counter over here to the right. I'm assuming that's where people are going to be ordering and whatnot. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then, lots of shelving for the products and coolers and things. And this is where, as the food is being prepared, this is where I end up in trouble, because I end up, walking around and gazing
a lot of
and
our
grazing.
Brandings and products from the Pacific Northwest, along with a lot of the southern brands that we've grown to love as well.
Right.
So we're bringing in Olympia Provisions, which is some amazing charcuterie products in Portland, Oregon that we've known for like 15 years now, and their pickles, charcuterie, along with, Fishwife tinned fish. That's some of my favorite tinned fish.
It's gotten popular recently.
Tinned fish. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I don't know if this is something that people are generally aware of down here. Down here, we have like a lot of like fresh seafood, oysters. I always talk about, I think my wife has like probably 2 shell baggings this weekend for Outside Foundation with, SCORE program, recycling the shells and rebuilding oyster reefs and things like that. One of the biggest FOMOs of missing out on the trip to Portland was, I mean, it all started with when we went for like a little mini moon in 2012 after we got married. We went to, Eventide up there in Portland, which is very well known. And then as we got to know other neighborhoods in different places, one of my top spots is, it's called The Shop. It's in, I believe it's in Portland or South Portland. the shop by Island Creek Oysters. I believe it's what it's called. Yes. And what I love about this place is that you can go there and get a bunch of raw oysters, but they have this unbelievable selection of tinned fish. And if you have not experienced, for the audience, if you have not experienced tinned fish, I highly recommend that you kind of roll this in with your repertoire, with your game
we
plan.
do have a tinned fish appetizer plate, and we're using Fishwife smoked trout specifically for that, with creme fraiche, pickles, sliced radish, and some crackers. Very simple, very delicious, perfect.
It's a bit of a delicacy, as simple as it sounds, in my opinion. Yes.
But we'll be bringing in Fishwife and Ikone, 2 different tinned fisheries
from both
Pacific Northwest. But we'll have a plethora of options because, like, we eat tinned fish all the time. That's what we snack on.
I love it. It's kind of like that just reminds me of my family. I think that's something that my grandmother used to take, like the tin of like the sardines or whatever it was out and be like munching on those. My favorite thing in the world, I don't necessarily need it on my pizza, but my favorite thing is a Caesar salad. And I'm not putting anchovies on the level of tinned fish, but like that's the base level where it started for me. Was okay. And yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's as lock as anything can be. So if you people have not experienced this, again, these are fishes and shellfishes and things like that are preserved in tins with some of the most amazing combination of herbs and spices and sauces. So don't think of it just like, okay, you're just opening up a can of sardines or anchovies. Again, that's kind of like that's sort of like beginner, not even beginner level of what we're talking about.
Way more popular recently.
Well, we grew up like eating chicken and a biscuit and smoked oysters. Like that was our snack. Like, with our mom growing up. And in our 20s and chef years, it's like that elevation of tinned fish
as our palates have progressed,
right? Like
as they've
evolved. I still enjoy chicken in a basket and smoked oysters. I did like a month ago. Like it's just nostalgic for me. But
I want it like now.
It's great.
Now that you mention it, especially as we head into oyster season. Or oyster roast season. So all right, so I know I have to let you guys go. Oh my God, I can't stop thinking about the tinned fish now. So yeah, that's something that you guys definitely have to try. That's what I wanted to talk about. You mentioned we're going to source as much of this stuff locally as we can, right? But then we have to go to other parts of the country. But the important message here is that we're trying to present everything that is all domestic, that is grown here, that are
that's high quality ingredients. I mean, we have
artisan level type stuff
in Pacific Northwest, along with Atlanta, Georgia. That's the spotted trotter
and so as far as like all our produce and meat, we'll be getting that locally. So local shrimp. We're going to use hunter cattle for our proteins. We're going to be working with local farms, as we said. Newly produce, low country shrooms, and then Grow Food Carolina, Tootin Farms. And aside from that, like any of the more gourmet products, we'll still focus on some local items, but with a big focus on especially like cheeses. There's some really great creameries, in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. But then what's nostalgic for us back home is also important to us to bring here and showcase, just because it's
we miss it. That's really the only reason we wanted to do a market, was so we can source the things that we want to eat. So
but yeah, I mean, huge focus on domestic, huge focus on local, and it's not to be like exclusionary, because there are some amazing international products and everything like that, but it's more like a celebration of local farmers, producers, artisans, and everything. So
I love this. Yes. That's something that's obviously super important to, because I mean, even just going there that one day and spending the couple of hours that I got to spend with Selma and getting to know her and getting to hear all these funny stories and all the different people and things like that she's working with. It really, it's like you said, it's a way to support the community, but it's also a way to support farmers, and producers and purveyors and things like that all across the country, because we have a lot of good stuff in all these different places, and it makes for some pretty incredible food on the side of it that we get to experience. Oh my God, I'm so excited. So All right, so we need to let you guys go. We need to let you guys get back to work. So I'm going
Thank
to
you.
figure out a time so that I can come and sample some of this stuff, which
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
super excited about. I may even bring one of my video guys with me and, record some content on site. But one way or another, we're going to be presenting some of that food porn to the audience very soon as I get to indulge in some of these sandwiches and tinned fishes and things like that. Before I let you guys go, is there anything else that you would like to mention to the audience? Anything else that you'd like to spotlight? Anyone else that you'd like to mention before I let you go?
I don't think so. I mean, you kind of understand our concept. We'll be posting our menu in the next couple of days so people can also get excited about that. Yeah, I mean, our opening's November 13th. We'd love to have everyone there. Be patient with us as we get systems up and running. We expect to be busy, which is a good thing. That's a good problem to have. So
yeah, we've gotten amazing feedback from the community and appreciate being an addition to our hospitality community here as well. So
yes, that's the other thing that I had, and that was on the tip of my tongue that I forgot. When I was speaking to Jazzy and Tyler yesterday, it was kind of funny because not necessarily, like, obviously the food is the center part of it. It's the focus of the smash burgers. But when they were talking about the identity of the place that they wanted to create, it was really just a place that they wanted to hang out with their friends. So
I mean, that's such a like Bourdain type of situation too.
Yeah.
Or it's just like create what you love, create the environment you love, surround yourself with amazing people, and
it'll all work out from there.
Like, yeah, honestly, I mean, the chefs and restaurant people, they're always characters, and they become family after some time, and so it's just like, yeah, I'm super excited to create this little pocket of the community, and
that's what's remarkable to me because you guys are a family, an actual family.
Well,
that's number one. Then you're going to build your team, right, of your staff and the team that's going to be working there, operating the restaurant with you. And that's probably that'll be my last question. Is well, not necessarily so much as a question, but I mentioned Selma, I mentioned Justin, talked about Hunter, all these different people in your neck of the woods, so to speak. I've gotten to meet some fascinating people, and I'm, like I said, I'm very grateful to have established some really powerful relationships and friendships with a lot of these people. And like you said, that they are characters. Just very briefly before I let you guys go, just talk about that aspect of it in the area that you were from and then left and then came back to working in the business and operating a restaurant, because I don't like to it's not first, it's like, number one, it's not a competition. Obviously there's everybody's in business to be successful.
There's room for everyone at the table,
right? Exactly. So talk about how, and I'm not saying that this is everyone, but there's a pretty significant portion of at least the business there that I have been around, that and it's kind of a little bit like that over here in Bluffton as well. And Hilton Head's a little bit different of a kind of animal, but talk about that community within the community, because like you said, it really is a family.
So I only really know Hunter and Justin well. Like I know them very well, and they've been both amazing supporters and amazing pieces of information for whatever we've needed. Especially Hunter, since he's done this whole thing, like questions about our ABL and like, oh, I know how to cook, but how do I anything like to the relation of redoing a whole business. And he's been an absolute amazing supporter and piece of information, along with Justin as well, like helping us find staffing.
And such a great advocate.
He trusts that he would send our way to hire. Hoju Tattoo has also been like an amazing supporter, and that's not in the restaurant industry. They just are amazing friends.
I think it's really easy when you find these people, because I've been here for 3 years, Dani's been here for 4 years, but when you find someone who's like super interested in food, it's like you instantly have this thing in common. And if you're passionate about food, you could talk for hours and hours and hours.
I mean, the reason why I was at the farm shucking oysters, and I came up to him and was like, "You cut some bellies there, buddy, didn't you?"
This was who?
Justin.
Right. Yeah.
He remembers the story, and that's how I got my job at Locals, and that's where like it started for me for our community. So
and it's quality over quantity. And
Absolutely.
like because everybody has their own lives and everything like that, but there is, like I said, that there is that cluster of the people that you have, and it's similar to me in my business where there's you know there's a handful of real estate agents and even other lenders that I consider to be friends, but it's very unique in your industry specifically because of the interactions that people have when they work with each other and because of the things that they learn from each other. And when you have someone like Hunter and people like Justin that are willing to go above and beyond, even when it's not just in the service of themselves and their own business, it really is an incredible thing. Well, listen,
100%.
I have taken up enough of your time. I appreciate you guys so much for taking the time. Again, before we let you go, we have the ribbon cutting, which is basically the simultaneously going to be the grand opening, November 13th at 11 a.m. Again, we said this is a Thursday, correct?
Correct.
Thursday, November 13th. Limited hours for the soft opening, 13th, 14th, and 15th, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then we're going to ease into a more regular schedule after that. I can't wait to see the menu. I will be studying that fiercely as soon as it flashes onto my screen. Don't hold back if you want to maybe sneak me a confidential copy for me to study over the weekend or whenever. What's that?
We'll send you one over.
Okay, cool. I promise I'll keep that under wraps. And then we're going to be, what's that?
You can go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, well, I'll wait until you guys give me the green light to do that. You let me know when I can share it, and I'm happy to share that. I can't wait to come and hang out with you guys. I can't wait to come and have some food. I can't wait to overbuy a bunch of stuff that I'm going to be taking home. Thank you for the cooler idea. That is a fantastic idea. I may or may not have done that before with the kitchen or one of these other spots. But listen, I had to go to a meeting up in Columbia about a month or so ago, and I brought coolers with me just because I knew I was going to get to spend about 45 minutes in a Trader Joe's. So I come prepared when I'm going to certain places. I'll be coming prepared when I come to you guys. Guys, thank you so much for the time. Best of luck with everything. I mean, you're literally, I don't want to take up any more time, but we're days away. I mean, the 13th is, just a couple of weeks. I always like to type days until November 13th. Just to get exact 20 days. That's less than 3 weeks. So we are here. It is upon us. I can't wait to meet you guys in person. Thank you so much for taking the time. And we'll be back with you guys, with the audience very soon with some delicious bites from Sister Sister Deli and Market coming to 403 Carteret Street in Beaufort. As always, stay hungry.
Nice talking with you today.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.